About 34 trains a day roll through one at-grade crossing in Banning, and every single one can stop traffic cold right where you get on and off the 10 freeway. So I'm from the Inland Empire. I work this commercial market every single day. And so if you've ever driven to the 10 out through the pass towards Palm Springs, you've sat at this exact spot. Now, Banning has a plan to make it disappear, and there's one number buried in the funding that most people skip right over. So stick with me because the number tells you where this is really headed. So let me walk you through it. Right now, this is a study design plan in the design phase. It's not funded for construction. It's not underway. So there's no build date, and I'm not going to speculate on exactly when it will happen. But the fix itself, it's smart. Instead of a bridge over the railroad, the city's own environmental filings say they'd lower Hargrave Street to pass underneath the Union Pacific tracks, so an undercrossing. And then they'd widen Hargrave to 4 lanes, roughly between Ramsey and Lincoln. They'd add sidewalks and bike lanes. They'd relocate the sewer, water, gas, electric, and even an oil pipeline. And they'd reconfigure the I-10 on and off ramps that sit right north of the tracks. So now the money. On June 9th, 2026, this year, the Banning City Council voted unanimously to apply for up to $100 million. So the program maximum from the Federal Railroad Crossing Elimination Grant. So that would cover the bulk of an estimated $130 million to $140 million in construction costs, with the feds potentially picking up 80% and then the city covering 20% local match. And they're not starting cold. They already have $7.8 million in design money, and it's already secured. And back in 2024, the city bought a small right-of-way parcel near Hargrave and John for like around $45,000. So that's the city actively assembling land. So who should care? I mean, if you're an industrial logistics user on the 10 corridor, or if you're at a crossing that stops your trucks for the 34 trains a day, it's a recurring tax on reliability and last minute times. So it removes it. And this whole stretch gets easier to ship from. And if you're a developer or a land investor, this is exactly the kind of infrastructure de-risking that tends to show up in the Banning-Beaumont land values before it ever hits the headlines. And if you're a resident, I mean, it's fewer trains cutting the town in half and a lot less waiting at tracks. So now that number I told you to wait for, well, the city engineer pointed to the local TUMF program as a source that could carry up to $57 million towards their local match. But that's potential. It's not committed. It depends on the future development and revenue in the zone. So I'm flagging it because it tells you that the city is betting growth itself and helps pay for this. So this isn't a wish. It's a plan with real momentum, even though the big construction dollars aren't locked yet. So, and then the next real milestone, it's not groundbreaking. It's whether that federal grant actually gets awarded. If it does, the city's own filing pegs the bill at roughly 15 to 24 months. So, I'm Joseph Lombera. I'm QW Commercial, part of the APETS Real Estate Service team, and I'm your local Inland Empire commercial real estate advisor. If you own commercial property out there and you're curious what it's actually worth in a market that's changing this fast, message me and I can give you an answer. Talk to you soon.